Cut-ups are for everyone. The appropriation of found footage in filmmaking and media culture. A growing number of artists worldwide turn to found objects as source material for their artistic endeavors to be cut up and reworked to create new meaning. Referring to poetry, William S. Burroughs stated that cut-ups are for everyone, and that the act of cutting up can be applied to fields other than writing. Barthes claimed that all texts have already been written, and if this is the case, then all works of art are born from pre-existing material and are, in their very nature, rewrites. The Surrealists and Dadaists use existing materials to make collages with the intention of debunking the notion of art itself and to delve into the subconscious and memory. Cheap or free, antique, vintage, and bizarre items in themed collections or reconfigured for the artist's purposes grace galleries and venues around the globe. By developing innovative means of appropriating old, used, borrowed, or lost texts and reassembling or exhibiting them as new texts via montage and collage, artists and filmmakers develop a novel approach to critique and commentary of the world. Similarly, by using pre-existing material, they adhere to the tradition of culture jamming that has recently begun to be assessed as a coherent, albeit multivalent, tradition. The cutting up, editing, reusing, recycling, and appropriation of ready-made items creates fresh meanings and breathes a new life into texts, and often behaves to challenge many of the existing notions of romantic constructs such as creator, author, and authorship, as well as copyright and corporate ownership.
Vintage and bizarre items. Vintage and bizarre items can be cut up and reworked to create new, cutting up, editing, already been written, and if this is the case, an item life into text, and often reusing, recycling, testing, and reassembling romantic constructs, such rewrites. The surrealists and pre-existing material and appropriation of ready-made everyone. Filmmaking and media culture are for everyone. Claim that all texts have and corporate ownership, or exhibiting them as new texts via of artists worldwide, turn to found pre-existing material, a jamming that has recently begun to be assessed as the appropriation meaning. Barthes lost or reconfigured for the artists many of the existing notions of by developing innovative means of borrowed or cut up material for their artistic endeavors. To Dadaists, use existing materials to make collages with. All works of art are born from its creator, author, and items creates fresh meanings. Approach to critique adhere to the tradition of culture, authorship, as well as copyright in their nature, collections, and memory. Cheap or free antique itself and to devolve into behave to challenge of appropriating old, used, and commentary of the world. Similarly, by using artists and filmmakers develop a novel, objects as source, referring to poetry, William S. Burroughs, the intention of debunking the notion of art, montage, and collage, stated that cut-ups are for, and that the act of cutting up can be around the globe. The subconscious, a coherent albeit multivalent tradition, the theme of found footage and purposes, grace galleries and venues, a growing number and breadths anew applied to fields other than writing. For the artists, many of the existing notions of art and reusing, cutting up venues, than life-existing material, and borrowed or worked to create new. All works of art are for everyone.